Hello, all, and welcome to Shatter Our Souls with Novaria. Today, we are tackling the Star Cup Mario Kart Double Dash on 100cc. You know the rules by now, I hope. Items are off the table if they are in hand. Any items on the road are welcome additions and useful. So, what does that mean for us? Well, today we are going to be showing off how good Koopa Paratroopa is at parenting. Um, that might actually come back to bite me later. Let's find out. Um, Overall, I find that when I am looking through old footage, I often find myself looking at it as a how would it go if I had done it something different? Uh, all things are 2020 hindsight after all. And the reality is, I'm going to be far more judgmental of myself now than I was in the moment. And I find that kind of an interesting statement to make because if you look at any competition out there, that's more or less what every individual out there would say is they are more judgmental of what they did later than what they were in the moment. Um, so I want to kind of point at that for a little bit and say that it's gonna be okay, that everything is gonna work out just fine. And while I'm pretty sure that Yoshi, Birdo, Peach, and Daisy are gonna be fighting for second place, overall, this run is going to be pretty simplistic overall. I have to say that the Star Cup is probably my favorite in the in Double Dash in general. It takes much more of a scenic route approach the sights of the Mushroom Kingdom into account compared to other cups in the game so far. Well, you have courses like Wario's Coliseum, Waluigi Stadium that showcase these grand architecture built for racing. This is more of a casual walk through all or through most of the Mushroom Kingdom itself. Mushroom City, however, I don't think I've ever seen Mushroom City in any meaningful capacity outside of a racing game. Like, yes, we have the Mushroom Kingdom as a whole, but generally speaking, outside of Peach's castle and maybe a couple small scenic locations throughout, there's really not much in terms of grand architecture in the Mario universe. The only major city that I can think of in today's day and age is New Donk City, which is not Mushroom City by any means. So, I don't know. It's kind of a questionable statement, I suppose. But, yeah. Okay, Yoshi Birdo, you are our rivals today. That shouldn't be too bad. One thing I like about this track in and of itself is that while it is a closed course for the players, it is not a closed, or it is, a location that is still bustling with activity. Why there are bombs? Who knows? But the point of Mushroom City is that this is a thriving metropolis. And I think that kind of sums it up nicely, similar to Toad's Turnpike in Mario, or in the 64 version. In general, the cars are acting as a obstacle system, but it's a much more dynamic obstacle than some of the other ones out there. If you look at courses like I'm gonna point at Mario Kart 8's Bowser Castle, there are, the flame wheels, you've got the giant Bowser that's punching and warping the entire course. But you also have moments like the glider section with plumes of lava coming up, but they're consistent. Every single one of them is dynamic in that they're not there when you first look at them, but they are there by the time you reach them every single lap. in that regard, oh no. Oh, I missed the star. Oh well. Um, but these, you never truly know what you're going to end up with until you hit it. So that is something that I personally like about it, is there's always a little something more. Yoshi Circuit is another one of those classic Mario Kart courses that a lot of people tend to gravitate towards. And I'll be honest, I'm kind of 50-50 on it. And so overall, I believe that, how do I put this? I believe that Mario Kart Double Dash's Yoshi Circuit fit better in a lot of ways than most people probably expected. Um, so if we are to take that into account, I believe that this course, more than many others, has merits to it in terms of its unique design. You're riding around on a Yoshi-shaped arena. And on its own, that's pretty novel. But it's also a wide course, lots of chaos can ensue, and you can even get a idea of where you are on the course by the colors and shapes of where you're driving. An example, we're currently in the nose. Now that came out wrong. By the eyeballs. And then you have these nice, beautiful red flower patches that are meant to be Yoshi's scales. The shell overhang. These little touches make this a very unique and dynamic arena. Location, throughout the entire of Mario Kart Double Dash. And while it has never been my personal favorite course, is unfortunately the next one, it is still one of those courses that always finds a way to surprise. And I gotta say, I love that about Mario Kart Double Dash. And really Mario Kart in general. I've been going back through the series one game at a time, and Double Dash holds up better than most, in my opinion. Um, Partially because I believe that Double Dash did something that a lot were afraid to. And the 8 carts 2-player approach meant that you could come back to it in 2025, almost 22 years after its first arrival on the scene, and still have a fantastic time. And, well, truth be told, most games have a level of replayability later on in life, but very few have the longevity that Mario Kart Double Dash does. Mario Kart Double Dash was also the very first full, true 3D Mario Kart in the entire franchise, despite being the 4th Mario Kart released, which honestly I was surprised about. I thought the Super Circuit came later, but it does a lot with a very, very succinct and, how do I want to put it? A very consistent batch of courses. All 16 courses have something to love about them, whether it's Baby Park and its chaotic nature, or whether it's Baby Park and its chaos, Dry Desert, to DK Mountain and its spectacle of getting launched off a cliff, or launched to the top of a mountain. There's always something to look forward to with this. Fun fact, I used to always see the stand for the cannon as the number 5, so I always thought it was DK5 Mountain for a long time. That was a little embarrassing way back in the day, but you know. small potatoes nowadays. Overall, I'm feeling pretty confident about the challenge as a whole. The idea of beating a Mario Kart game itemless is one of those things that you hear people say, and it's, oh yeah, if you're in the upper echelon of players and you can do that, it's gonna be a really fun and interesting time. And it all comes down to consistency. It comes down to how well you know your tracks, how tight you can take those turns. But it also has some degree of luck to it. Mario Kart Double Dash is known for being carded. The idea of getting hit by multiple attacks in a very short span of time. And getting carded in an itemless run, among other things, is much, much more devastating than getting carded in a regular run, because you don't really have much to get you back up to speed. That's foreshadowing, by the way. But overall, the 100 cc's I think will be fine. It's the 150 and mirror mode that are probably going to give a lot of trouble. Anywho, we finished the cup with a grand total of 40 points, with Yoshi Birdo in second, Peach and Daisy in third. Third, it's funny, third place actually has double the points of fourth. So fourth didn't even have a chance to be in the running by the time that the fourth race happened. Anywho, if you like what you see, are curious, drop a like, leave subscribe, we'll catch you next time. Until then, be good to one another, and I hope you all have a good one.